Okay guys, welcome to this very special micro workshop. So what we're doing today is creating a short story with your voice in AI. So we're going to run through this, probably going to be about an hour and a half max. And what we're focusing on here is actually getting your own voice, your own style into what you're doing, and we're going to have fun along the way. So I can see we've got a few people with us. If you want to put hello in the chat, because it's going to be quite an interactive session. So what's going to happen is we're going to put this in the chat, and you guys are going to contribute to what we're doing, and you're going to put it in the chat, and we're basically going to build a story together. And when we do this, it's going to form the basis of what we're trying to do. Then I'm going to show you two examples of how we can make this stuff sound more like you. So really going to be beneficial for you. If you've not done this before, you're going to find it really quite enlightening, I think, from that aspect. So let us begin. Guys, say hello in the chat. Are you excited to do this? Look, AI is so important that you understand, at least you're able to be able to work with it and move forwards. You know, and a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are very afraid of AI, and they think, oh, you know, it's going to take my job and all of these things. I look at it as an opportunity to speed up, a pivotal moment in time for us to really take advantage of these tools and get in there early. You know, it's like the internet when it was first really used, and people were just on it all the time, and those people become very rich by doing those things, right? Same with cryptocurrency as well. So if you, no, it's not the same, but if you look at it like this is huge. This is like since, you know, the creation of the wheel, right? It's that important, right? It's such a pivotal moment because we are kind of shaping the way AI will be for later generations. Right, so at this moment in time, AI moves along so fast, and what I'm saying to you now in a week's time could be out of date. That's how quick it's moving. Now, literally day by day, new features and things are coming in. The AI models are getting better and better and better. But at this moment in time, they are just pattern systems. So they're pattern recognition systems. So I said this in a live that I run on the Zenler community a few days ago. And I said, like, what AI is really good at is having a really good idea or a really good guess. Is a really good guesser, right? So if I said something like Little Red Riding, and it would, you know, you guys know what it would come up with next. It would come up with Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, right? Or Humpty Dumpty sat on a, and it would say wall, right? Because it's really good at those things. If you put that in time with all the stuff that you're asking for and AI, and it's capturing your memories in whatever AI system you're using, then it becomes a little bit more. And some people, and it's very scary nowadays because some people are treating AI like it's a real person, and it's not a real person. You know, it's not cognitive. It's not self-aware. This week. Right. So, hi guys. I'm going to give a quick shout out to people that are in here. Right, we are streaming to YouTube channel. But this is our main group in the Facebook group. So hi Ali. Ali will be looking after you today. So hi John, hi Naguan, and we got Wendy in here, we got Dale in here, we got Angela, we got Patricia, we got Sarita, Francis as well, and of course says John up top there, and we've got Wendy as well. So guys, this is going to be super exciting for you, right? So it is a pivotal moment. It's someone put in a chat, singularity. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like really one of these special times. And a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid they'll lose their jobs and things like this. I think I look at AI that it will give us more time, right? I think that's what it's going to give us. It's going to give us more time. And currently, at this moment in time, we are still the masters of it, right? However, it's moving fast, right? It's moving fast. So what I'm going to do, we're going to kick this off straight away. I'm going to go to my slide deck and we're going to work our way through. Hope you like my office. Look, see my office round here? This has got a little bit of me in here as well. I used to paint figures when I was younger up here. Got a little bit of a microphone in the background, a little bit of AI going on with holographic screens. plus a notepad, going back to good old days. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little slide deck here. Let me just get myself out of the way a little bit here. Right, okay, so we're going to start off with this. We're going to kick off and we're going to talk about the workshop we're doing today. So we're going to create a short story using AI with you. Right, craft style and voice with AI. So I'm going to give you two examples, right? And you're going to really see a big difference. And I know John Orion's in here. He's really into AI at the moment. He's doing loads and loads of studying on this. So it's he might answer some of your questions in there. John, you're promoted, right? You're promoted to an AI specialist inside this workshop, right? So John might help you guys out if you've got any tech questions or even outside of what we're talking about. He's knowledgeable on this stuff as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you two styles, right? We're going to do one style that is kind of Cockney, like a Cockney slang, you know, apples and pears stands for stairs, right? Trouble and strife, wife, this kind of thing. So we're going to do one voice model in that, and we're going to do another one in a kind of visionary, ethereal kind of voice, like a wind rustles through the trees and there was mounting dew on the grass, you know, very visual, very, you know, different styles. We've read books that are kind of down to earth, Danny Dyer's style, and then you've got kind of like, you know, Stephen King, kind of quite visual, or Anne McCaffrey, quite visual with their books and explain the environment they're in. So I'm going to give you two different styles, and with what we create today together, we're going to see what happens with those. So that's craft style with a voice, right? Then what we're going to do when we've got it all together, and I'm not sure what it's going to produce for us, right? Because I don't know. Right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to extract 3 key scenes and we're going to turn them into visuals, right? Into images that we could use within our story, right? Or our blog. So the last thing we're going to look at, that's the main part. The last thing we're going to look at is kind of building blocks for stronger prompts for you guys to create. So there's certain things that you should be putting into your prompts. What you shouldn't be doing is talking to AI like it's human, right? And if you've actually trained it properly, you kind of can. But if you're just talking to it like it's human, then you're not doing a very good job by prompt engineering it, right? You might naturally get it right, and you'll find that in the prompt blocks that I show you, you're probably hitting a lot of those anyway. You don't have to use all of them, but you just need to be aware of them, right? So that's going to be good for you as well. And the last thing we're going to look at is agents, so agentic AI, and we're going to be looking at GPT versus chat, because a lot of people don't understand the differences between those things. So we're going to just like focus on it. I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm just going to say this. So you understand. So if someone says to you, you understand what the meaning behind it, right? So what it actually means from that point of view. So this will be helpful for you guys as well. All right, okay, creating a short story with AI. So let us write a story together. So we need to start this at the beginning. We need to start this with a starting block for this, right? So, and this is where there is a bit of a lag, right? There is a bit of a lag inside of the stream, so I know it's going to take us a little bit more time. So we need key moments in the story. So we want to make it exciting as well. So let's make it exciting. So I'm going to start you off here, and I want you to put it in. I'm just going to pick one of the ones I think would be a good one to start. So we're going to start with something like an example. It's going to be Jamie woke up in the morning after a peaceful sleep, right? That's one kind of little sentence. So we're going to together build a story. So I want you guys to write a line in there, however you want to start it, right? But try to be specific on the name of the person, or if it's an animal, or if those kind of things, because we want to start the story with AI realizing what it is. Otherwise it would just say he woke up in the morning, or you know, after a peaceful sleep. It won't actually say the name of him, because AI will take that name and it will use it throughout the story, right? So we need to start there. So task number one, just drop in that first one, right? And then we're going to move on. We're going to build it. So I'm going to put one in the chat. Ali, if you can look after this, it'd be super cool. I'm going to just go to Facebook because I'm not sure I'm getting, the stream comes in slowly on the chat and I don't want to miss anything coming in on this. Right. I like the second style. Yeah, most people do. I'm just giving you a complete opposite. Ooh. Waking Dave. I think I'm going to say, waking Angela, if you're going to use that. That's a good one. Right, okay, hold on. Let me just blow up big size here so I can see what's going on. Right. Angela. Oh, the owl winked at me and walked past free. So that's good. I'm going to grab your names as well. All right, I woke up her AI assistant named Solomon. Right, I know where you're going with that. Right, that's nice. Right, we can maybe use some of these together as well to build this out. So the first one I'm going to go with is going to be Angela's one here, right? Because I quite like that. It just jumps in. But instead of David, I'm going to put Angela in there, right? So, because this is your story, right? So you can add your names going through it as well. You can say, then John met Angela. So we're going to go from there. The sirens were jarring, waking Angela up from dead sleep and causing her, to fall out of bed. So what are we going to do next? Where are we going to go next with this? So now start putting 2 in front of it, right? 2, and then write the next bit. So you might want to say something like waking Angela sleep and fall out of bed. You could put something like she heard a ringing downstairs or a loud noise outside. Do you see what I mean? So we're going to build it up, but we're jumping. We're not building a whole story here. We want to jump to other areas. So I look at the mirror. I didn't see. Oh, that's nice. I like that. You're going the horror route, aren't you? I can tell. Oh, someone's trying to watch this. Right, hold on a second. 2 seconds. Let me just go in. Oh, we got 2 people. You should have come in before, guys. You know, right? They've all been let in there. Right, I can see it. How story moves to Leola Cove near the end. Right, teach. No, I'm not going to use that one, Dale. It's too specific. What I like here is I looked at the mirror and didn't see myself. Right, okay. So that's the second point in here, right? So far we have this. The sirens were jarring, waking Angela up from a dead sleep and causing her to fall out of the bed. I looked at the mirror and didn't see myself. So now put 3 and then put what you want to happen next. You can jump ahead. You can put her straight into a forest scenario if you want to. So that's Anna. I'm grabbing your names, right? I'm going to look through here and do some variations afterwards as well, just see what I come up with, but that's after this is finished. So I'm going to put Anna in now. I'm just grabbing your names for when I actually put it into a blog. Right, so here we go. We're moving down now. So what's going to happen in number 3? So we've got 2. We're moved on to number 3 now. Right. Yeah, I have done that, Stacey. Right, 3. Instead, I saw strangers walking towards me. Right, 3. I snuck into the bedroom, quietly tapping everybody. Remember the context as well, right? Because it can confuse AI. So we've woken up from the dead of sleep, falling out of bed. So you see yourself in a mirror, didn't see myself, and then Angela, it would be I snuck into the bedroom quietly tapping. It doesn't really make sense. Oh, here we go, Francis. Glass reflected. Oh yeah, yeah, that's good. Right, let's try and move a little bit further forward. I want AI to fill these gaps in because you're almost creating a story here, which is cool, right? But we want to jump ahead. So we want to say something like, I head outside, and then carry it on. So do that next. So I'm going to take Francis as one, then I'm going to read you what we've got so far, and then we can move it on. So. Okay, so what we got so far, so move it on from here. I want to get outside now, or in the basement of the house or somewhere. I want to move out of this kind of area. So this is what we got so far. The sirens were jarring, waking Angela from a dead sleep and causing her to fall out of the bed, right? That's one sample. I looked at the mirror and didn't see myself, the next one. Then Francis has put, for a long breathless second, the glass reflected everything in the room. The tangled sheets, the open wardrobe, the flashing red lights from outside, everything except her, right? So you don't even have to make sense. You want to try and let AI try and make this stuff go together. She headed to the dragon. John, right, I'm going to use that one, right? Because it's just random, right? So I'm going to use John's one there. She headed to the dragon's stable, right? Right. Okay. So she headed to the dragon stable. What happens then? So we're on to point 5. So 5 dot and then write your bit in there. Oh, I like the way, Angela, you've adapted that quickly. Angela quickly scrambled outside. Right. You like your sci-fi stuff, you guys, don't you? It's horror and sci-fi. Fantastic. Right, so let me have a look. So number 4, it's going to take a little bit of time to come on. This is working quite well. I know some of you are typing and it's not appearing on my screen straight away, but it's okay. Right, so we've got, so the last part is the flashing red lights from outside, everything except her. Then we got John said, she headed to the dragon's stables. A figure stands in the centre of the road. I love yours, Francis, but I want someone else's because I've got you in there once. So I'm trying to get everybody to have a little bit of a say in here. Stacey, put something in. Roger, put something in. Ali, put something in. Dale, have another go, Dale. Wendy. Deborah. Right. Five. John again. Right, John. Right. If I don't get any more, I'm going to carry on with John's, because John's could carry on. The creature was like something. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so Roger's got one there. So Roger's put, the creature was like something I had never seen before. Right. Okay, let's now get the story to get to the point. So we've done the beginning, we've sort of set it up. Now we're kind of coming into the middle section. So we now need to have some sort of something going on. Like the dragon, let's say for instance, the dragon was in pain and it had a thorn in it or something, you know? I want to get to that middle section. Right, I might use that. Right, so Roger put, the creature was like something I have never seen before, and then Dale put, the dragon was actually a sea lion who was enjoying the morning. Right, so I'm going to use that one. I love that. That's really funny. So I don't know what's going to happen with this kind of story. Right, could be anything. Right, okay, so the dragon was actually a sea lion and it was enjoying the morning. So, Oh, Ali. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so we want a kind of like middle section. So what's going on here? What is going on? The dragon. They've met the dragon. The dragon's really a sea lion. It was enjoying the morning, and the creature, whatever it was, seemed to stumble. That's good. That's going to bring us on to something. Good one, Deborah. Right. So the sea lion, or whatever creature it was, has stumbled. So that's a good one. So what's happened next? So you can jump a bit if you want, forwards a bit. Is Angela going to help the creature? There was a baby dragon next to the main dragon, but it's a sea lion, right? That will really confuse AI if I put it there. It'll probably work it out because it's pretty smart. But then the sea lion started charging towards me, and I thought he was going to plough me over. The creature seemed to stumble. Oh, right, okay. Angela again. Come on, guys. Leslie, you can come up with another one. He flicked his tail. He's flicked his tail. Angela and Francis are dominating here. Right, Angela, there was a bemused by what she was observing. Bemused by what she was observing. Right, okay. Tail on the sea line. No. Right, okay. Look, where we're going to now is the dragon was actually a sea lion who was enjoying the morning, right? And then Deborah put, and the creature, whatever it was, seemed to stumble. So I'm going to add a little bit here. I'm going to put one in. So I'm going to say, just to move it on, I'm going to go, okay, so I'm going to go, the creature stumbled, it was. I'm going to put Angela tried to stop it falling, and it knocked her into a deep well. Right, so now let's look at Angela. Right, so Angela is falling into a deep well. All right, so what's happening with Angela now? We've gone past the sea lion and the dragon. What's happening with Angela now? She's falling into a deep well. So we're going to kind of try and get this to end at some point. I'm figuring now she's falling into a deep well. She hits the bottom and suddenly wakes up in bed with the moonlight over her or something. That would be a nice kind of ending to it. So let's try and put an ending to it so we can move it into the final stage. So I can move on with the actual work, right? she met Alice. All right, I think we're going on another story here. This could be good. We could do this each week and create stories to put online, create books together, right? Abruptly she opened her eyes, the daylight, realising the alarm was sounding next door. Do you know what? I'm gonna use that. Angela, yeah, you're just going to end it for me so we can get on to that. John's like that looking class. Right, okay, classic. So it actually worked out quite well, I think. The dragon reached down into the well and its long neck and pulled Angela out. Yeah, okay. I know, because you guys want to carry the story on, don't you? That's really good. Yeah. You know, I'm going to take this off in a different route when I finish this. I'm going to create some other stories based on what you guys have put in here. And I think you should do the same. Right, I think you should do the same. You should pick the ones that you like out of this, put it together, even if they're not in sequence, and try what we're going to do next. I think that'd be really good for you. So God bless you for helping me out there, because I thought, oh, this could go, this could go drastically wrong, right? You're great. Okay, right. So moving on, what we have so far is this, right? So we have. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. There we go. Right, so here we go. Right, so I'm going to read this out to you. So Angela put, the sirens were jarring, waking Angela up from the dead sleep and causing her to fall out of the bed. So Anna said, I looked at the mirror and didn't see myself. So Francis then said, for a long breathless second, the glass reflected everything in the room, the tangled sheets, the open wardrobe, the flashing light from outside, everything except her. So John said she headed to the dragon's stables. That's a big gap there. Don't know what AI is going to do with that. Then Roger put, the creature was like something I had never seen before. Dale put, the dragon was actually a sea lion who was enjoying the morning. That's got to be the funniest one of the day. So I love sea lions. All right. And the creature, whatever it was, because Deb was completely confused, as I am with Dale's last answer, seemed to stumble. So then I put, Angela tried to stop it falling and it knocked her down a deep well. Angela then finished off, quite appropriately. Abruptly, she opened her eyes to daylight, realising her alarm was sounding next to her. So that's quite good. That is kind of, that is quite a good one. It goes right the way through. Patricia, what a wonderful imagination you have. All of them. So this is what we have, and this is what we're going to use. So it's a series of these. So what I need to do is I need to take your names out. So I just got a series of these ones put in there, but I'll do that in a second. So what we will do now is we'll move on. So we've got our first part done, which is really good. I just want to prove a point that you can sort of almost bullet point things and you can get things to be created by doing this sort of stuff. It's quite powerful. And if you think about it, you could do the same thing with chat, right? So if you're running a live like we are today, you could take all of the chat information and you can run it through similar to what we're doing now and extract a lot of information. And I've done this before in the past where I've run really quite interactive sessions with you guys, and I've taken the chat and I've run it into AI and I've said, can you tell me who the leaders board on who contributed the most in the chat? And what was their kind of, what was their mood? Were they positive? Were they negative? What can you tell me about them? So I had really big breakdowns of people, and it basically was analysing personalities as well. So always be positive when you're on camera, right? So, or even if you're writing, always take a positive thing or be inquiring mind, because it can say if you're a negative person or a positive person, and you can draw this information just from a chat. Now, that's quite interesting because you probably wouldn't have thought of that. I know I've talked to you before about using transcripts to create blogs and content and socials and these kind of things, but I've never really talked to you about using just the general chat that goes in on the thing. Because if you notice that most people ask, where do people come from, and all these things, and that data can now be drawn and assigned to people, and you can build profiles. If those people come to a lot of lives, you can start to build profiles up on those people, and that's a good thing for us because we get to know our people better and we get to know people who attended. And we did that when we ran a massive long workshop where we actually analysed all of the chats going through and who was here for every session, what was the session count of people coming in. So it didn't work if people were not chatting in the chat. So they have to be engaged. That's why we try and get every one of you to write something so that we know that you're here. And that way it's trackable. And if we're giving swag out, we can enter you into a competition wheel and then give you swag, based on users being in there. So it can be really powerful. That's how you can think of it. Right, so moving forward. So story key moments done. So we have an outline for our story. These are key points or snapshots in a story. So I want to explain what's happening here. What happens a lot if you're a creative and you're doing a film or you're doing stop motion work or any of this kind of things, what happens is a storyboard is created, right? So you've all heard of storyboards. So this is exactly what we've done here. We've created a storyboard of key moments inside of this story or inside of this film, if you like. And we've done it in a text format, and we've had you guys all come together and contribute. So this is what we're doing. So we're taking snapshots of the of parts of the story, and we're going to use AI to put it all together. These will guide the AI to create the story for you. Remember, we still need to give it your voice, and this is where you'll be using your own copy when you see. So I want to note this: AI is extremely good at pattern recognition, so much so that people think AI is real, right? Which it's not. This is not true. It just remembers you and also has access to a lot of data. It just fills it in logically with answers. So if, and I said this the other day on a live, like if you've put a lot in there on, say, food that you like, and you've asked it for menus on different types of salad you can create, like that might have been 6 months ago. Then you go to AI and you go, I don't know what I want for dinner tonight. Can you recommend something? And it says, and it turns around and just says to you, what about a salad? A nice tuna salad. You like those? And you're like, whoa, yeah, I do. You know, and it's shocking for you because it remembers it, and we don't remember this stuff, right? We're just saying it and we just want the information now. It's in our short-term memory. But AI hasn't really got short-term memory because it's going to remember that stuff. Of course, there's lengths of characters where it'll run out. If you turn memory off, it's got no memory, right? But it will remember stuff, so it will pull these things in, and it might, if you mention that you like lots of things that are red, and you ask it what's its favourite colour, it'll probably turn around and say red, right? Because it's pulling it in from things. It's a very, very good guesser, right? And it works with massive amounts of data, so it can put these things together. And what's going to do for this story is looking around the internet at the style that you're going to tell it, and it's looking for stories, and it's finding out ways that it can use bits of those stories to sort of cobble things together, almost like copy and pasting. Right, okay. Right, Dale, that's a good idea. Yeah, use this however you want, because although we're doing a story, it could be any content at all, right? You might even want to use this for your biography, for your bio, right? For your site. You might want to put key points down about things you do. Write me a good bio, right? Using this in my voice. So it's a really good at pattern recognition. So I already gave an example, Little Red Riding, and it would put hood in there, right? So we know that. So crafting style and voice. So now we need your example text. This is your genuine writing style. So I'm going to show you some copy that we've got, and I want you to spend time finding good copy that you've created, not AI. You can spag check it through AI, but it's got to have your personality into it. It's got to be you. It's got to be words that you use. So your voice, it needs to have your style and your voice. So even if you have to sit down and type out 500 words, if you've written a book or something, it's got your style, that's great. You can pull out a little bit. You don't need to pull out like 5,000 words, right? You only need like 500 words or something, or 1,000, and you can use that as the style sheet. You can see that in a second. Right, we want AI to recognize you and how you write. We have a prompt to be used for this, and it is designed to reflect your voice and tone. So let's have a look at what we've got now. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm just going to take all this text and I'm going to bring it up in size a bit so you guys can see, right? So, right, this is our story. We have this is all good. And now we're going to move on to here. So the short clip storytelling prompt. Can you all see that? Let me just get myself out of the way a little bit here. All right, so this is the prompt that we're going to use. Right, so I'm going to give you a series of snapshots that form the key beats of a story. Your job is to fill in the gaps creatively so the story flows smoothly from one snapshot to the next. Remember, we're calling each of those things that we made a snapshot, okay? It's absolutely essential that you write in my storytelling style and my natural voice. I will provide you with a sample of my writing so you can understand exactly how I speak, the rhythm I use, the tone, the slang, the personality, and the personality behind it. So important instructions. So I'm not overcomplicating it. I'm just making a very stressed point that it needs to follow my style and that all the content is not there. So you need to add that content between each of the points, right? That's what I've basically told it. So you must maintain my storytelling style. So I've said that 2 or 3 times now. It's really important. You must maintain my voice, tone, slang, pacing, and personality. And this is where you can change this, guys. The final story must be at least 1,000 words, right? You could change that if you want to 500 or something. In fact, you should be tweaking this if it's not exactly what you want anyway, and run it through. You might have to do it 3 or 4 times before you get it perfect. The story must be properly formatted with clean paragraphs and readable structure. Okay, we want that. The finished story must be placed into a Canvas document so that I can edit it easily, which you have inside of ChatGPT, right? You can open in a Canvas so you can edit the document. Doesn't really matter. You can just copy and paste it. When working with my style writing, analyze it deeply. Keep my slang, keep my phrasing, keep my humour, keep my rhythm, keep my narrative flow, keep the way I address the reader, keep any cheekiness, informalities, or old school charm, right? Do not use generic writing or a watered down version. Match my voice exactly. So it's about the 4th time I've told it, right? Paste your writing sample below. So this is what we're going to grab. We're going to grab this text here. And I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to be taking it into AI. Right, so let me just come out of this and let me go into ChatGPT. Okay, so I've got ChatGPT here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger so you guys can see. So all I'm doing is pasting in that. No, yeah, you with me? So I'm just pasting in what I said. Paste your writing sample below that line. So let's have a look at the line again. So now, down here, that's bit. Right, so 2 different writing styles to show the difference. So this is really important. I want to show you, right, this is the slang with kind of no vision look. So I'm going to share a little secret with you folk. When I was a young'un, a hooligan and rascal, I used to play a famous game in our neck of the woods called Knockdown Ginger. We caused a real scuffle in our local town and the locals used to scold us badly, but being young hooligans, we did not heed them, right? So one morning after my local paper round, I decided it would be a laugh to play, so I crept up to a red door, knocked. Before I could scarper, a big dog shot out and gave me a nip on the buttock. Ouch, I cried. I learnt a lesson. Right? That's it. So that's the first one. This is the second one. Deep in the green forest there was a house, a lovely wooden slatted house, painted white with ivy creeping up its walls like a giant hand. The wind rattled softly through the branches of the trees. Often you heard creaks. It sounded like an old man getting up in the morning, right? Get the idea? I wrote these. I didn't use AI. This is me, right? So I wrote this in my style. So this is important for you to know because you might be looking at this thinking, oh, you might have written that in AI. No, I wrote it, right? I spag checked it, of course, but I wrote it all. So it didn't change any of that stuff. You'll also notice that inside here I said ginger because I had red hair like fire. My mum used to say I was touched by fire spirits. Game of Thrones, that's a little homage to Game of Thrones. And I was a curious child, full of dreams and vision. Often you'd find me dismantling old toys to see where they were made. And actually this second one is kind of true, except I haven't got red hair. So this is my voice note for both of them. So I'm going to take the first one, which is going to be the slang version, right? I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to put that into here. So paste your writing sample here. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to paste it in there. So now when I click this, it will ask me for the next part, which is going to be the story part. So I've got it, right? So this is what AI is telling me now. I've studied your sample, soaked up the rhythm, the cheek, the old school charm, the way you chat to the reader like you've known them since primary school. I'm ready to match your voice exactly. But before I can spin the full 1,000-word plus tale, it's going to need something. It's going to need a series of snapshots. That's what we created. So I'm going to jump back into here and I'm going to grab the snapshots. So I'm going to come up here. Let me just go back one here, make this the right size. So let me just grab this now. I need to take this out. So I need to just take these out. It will confuse it, right? So, oops. Right. Okay, that'll do. So now I'm going to grab this. Copy, copy, copy. So this is going to be the slang version, right? So inside here, it's waiting for the snapshots. I've given it that sample, which is the kind of slang version. We're going to put that into there now. That's our series of steps. And now we're going to hit this. And I don't know what it's going to give us. So it's going to go story draft, Angela. Yeah. So it's going to use these bits from here. And I think it's done. Yeah. And notice how it's using the style. So it's going, and the cheeky thing was just enjoying the morning like it belonged there. So here we go. So of course you can ask it for a revision. So if you're not happy, you can go, can you do that again, but maybe be a bit closer to this? Or, but she's got things like in here, slap the clock, a wise choice. But it's fed it all in there. So it's taken those parts. And it started with, it probably thought that was really good, Angela, that start. So the sirens were jarring, waking the dead, sending the tumbling out, lanking back. She landed with a thud and echoed around the room. And knowing Angela, she probably muttered something colourful as she scrambled upright. Hair in electric chaos. Now, I know folks like to exaggerate, but believe me when I say those sirens wailed like the end of days, not the polite, half-hearted beeps you get when someone burns toast. And still half day, she staggered around towards the mirror, and that's when things took a proper kind of slang, proper sideways turn. She looked at the glass and didn't see herself. Let me tell you that wake up quicker, slack gobbled. I want to get to the bit where it's going about the dragon. So But you can see it's following that style. Do you understand? It's following that style that you've got. So just like she headed to the dragon stables. Well done, John. Now she gets legend, mythical guardian. Blaming the stables on the edge. Doesn't say anything about the dragon being a sea lion. You could probably say that maybe that's just too bizarre, Dale, right? So maybe it's too bizarre. Oh, right. But as she stepped closer, squinting, the truth revealed itself. The dragon, in fact, was a sea lion. The sea lion in a field, miles from any respectable amount of sea. She was sitting in the morning, but the sea lion dragon creature, again, it's picked up what Deborah put, don't know what it is, you know, whatever identity crisis. Now, we had a bit of fun with this, right? Obviously, you would write it in a series that kind of makes sense. You wouldn't take the Dale approach of throwing that in there. So, but you can see it's done a really good job. So let's see how this will change when we give it the new chat that we're going to use. So I'm going to take this prompt right down to here, and I'm going to come into a new chat here, and this time I'm going to put in the kind of vision voice, which is this one here. So let's go and take this vision one here. Okay, and let's put that in there. So it'll go, yep, I understand what you want to do. Can you put in the words? Which we will. Simple, clear, old school charm, fairy tale rhythm. So it's looking at it and it's deciphering that it's a, you know, a really good sort of visionary type thing. So I'm going to go back up the top. I'm going to grab this again. Put it in here, and we're going to see. And it should be quite descriptive. Oh, it is already, look. So it hasn't started with what Angela said in the last one. It has gone straight into something different. So it's deep in the blue-grey hush before morning, when the world still feels half asleep and a little unsure of itself. So it's being really descriptive this time. Can you see the difference? And is this helping you? Is this good for you? Give us the thumbs up. Give us likes. Do likes on the post if you think, yeah, this is good. You can understand where I'm going. So what I'm going to want you guys to do is to create your own voice, put it in there, and then try that with different copy. Yeah, and then it should hold your voice. It should hold your tone and all of these sort of things going through it. And I think you'll be surprised. This is definitely the way to go, because most people are not doing the training side. They're just putting stuff in there, so it's not having your voice. I think this time, if you do it this way, what will happen is you'll have something that's closer to you, right? So it'll be much closer to you. It will reflect you better, and we say go in and edit things. Absolutely, edit stuff, but you'll have to do less of it probably. You know, if you train it well enough, you do less and less and less, right? And you can put this stuff, if you do this, if you just do it normally without doing what I'm doing today, and you put it into like Zero GPT, which checks how much is AI written, you'll probably find that your content is really high, right? And you'll probably find it's like 80-90% AI written. And if you do this and then you copy it, it'll probably be like 30%, right? There's a massive difference. So if Google are, for instance, looking at AI copy, and they're looking if AI has created it, then they're going to look at copy that's more human, and they're obviously going to say, well, it's been human, much more likely to be human written. So we're going to give that maybe more ranking. You know, it could be as important as that, right? So just bear those in mind. So this is really nice. I really like this one. So also the other thing, remember I told it in the prompt to put it into Canvas. So have you noticed here what has appeared in ChatGPT? There's a little edit. So this is really handy because you don't have to copy it, put it into a Word document and edit it. I can click edit here, and now I can go in and edit this copy in here, and I can update it. So you can do it directly in ChatGPT. And then, of course, you can also share that, and you can download it as well. So you can download it as a PDF, a document file, or a markdown file, which is also really good as well. So now we've done that, let me just go and find it. This is the one, isn't it? Right. Nope. That one. Okay. So I really like this one of these two. I think this one's nice. So I'm actually going to copy it. And we're going to kind of move on to the next part. So do you understand what I'm getting at with this stuff? Yeah. Now, one thing before I move on, one thing I want to make really clear to you if you're getting unpredictable results, it could be because you have got memories turned on in your ChatGPT model. Okay, so it can take your memory. So if you look down here at the settings, you're going to see in mine under the personalizations that down here I have memories turned off, right? So don't worry about the advanced section, it's mainly here. Right, so it's your choice because it will remember what you've put in here. And if you didn't know, and you guys check this now because I think you'd be surprised. Under memory, if you click manage, I notice I've got nothing in here. It said memory is disabled, ChatGPT won't save your memories, right? Why do I do that? Because I have projects that only look inside themselves. If I turn memory on, it looks everywhere. Do you remember that thing I told you about, the salad? If you'd mentioned it 2 years ago and then you said, what do I want to eat? It'll probably bring up salad. It's because it's picking from memories that are probably in here. Go and have a look now, guys. Right, I'll do it again for you if you're not sure. Right, you go down to the left-hand corner, click that button, click settings, and then go across to personalization. Scroll down, click manage, and see what's in there. You guys should have a ton of copy in there. Now that is saved the memories that ChatGPT knows about you. It summarizes it, puts them in there. So there might be things in there you think, I don't want it to remember that. So you delete it out, right? So it's worth looking at this little library. You might have hundreds in there, right? Because if you've never turned this off, I remember I did, I had it on, I turned it off and got rid of it all out of there. So I turn mine off because I handle everything I do inside of my projects here. And I have DNAs or blueprints in here of my content. So for instance, my clone, for instance, I've got 2 files and these files tell it all about me. And when I ask it a question, it only uses here. It doesn't look at anything else. Zenler brand, for instance, this is something I'm working on now. I'm setting a ton of files up for our branding, so it'll produce imagery based on our brand identity. And that's what I'm doing in here. But when I ask it a request in this area, it only gives me the information that's in the files. It doesn't look elsewhere. Hence, I'm controlling the tool, right? So John's put, oh, it's good. You like it, John, yeah? So I'm controlling it. I'm not letting it just do. Now, what I've been doing with you today is I haven't been working in here. I haven't been working in my projects, right? I've been working in here. And although it says, how can I help you, David? And it says David Zenler down there. Let's just ask you a question. What's my name? Right? Question mark. Let's see what it says. I don't actually know your name. You haven't told me. What would you like me to call you? Why? Because I've turned memories off. Now you guys, if you put that in yours, I guarantee that every one of you, maybe John might be the exception, will say your name. Right, try it out, see if it does. So that's what I'm doing. So if you do get a different result and you seem to think it's pulling something from elsewhere, it's probably because you've got a memory in there that said your name, or you've told it your name, or it's pulling it in, or it's pulling something in from some data that you've put in there. Yeah, so John, exactly similar to gems in Gemini. Okay, but gems you can set up events to happen with the gems. Yeah, you can pick from default applications inside Gemini. So that is the whole crux of what I want you guys to do today. So I want you to go through this stuff and I want you to create your own. So you might want to create 500 words, write it in your own voice, make it a masterpiece, something you can say, that's my DNA of exactly how I write. Make it, spend some time on it. Just really put your character into it. Don't use AI to do this. Please do this yourself. It's really important. You can spag check it in Grammarly or any of the AI tools, but don't let it change anything about that voice imprint, right? It's really important. It's like the DNA. It's the start of the DNA that you're going to build, because we're going to build more in future workshops. So please do that, and then do something like we did today. Use this chat, pull out things from the chat, write it, you know, and do that. Just test it out, and then also do something like your own bio. So put in there a bit of bullet points of what you've done, your how you are as a person, you know, and all of those things, and then see what it does, and it will create something that's in your voice using those points. This can save you so much time. You know, I've just done 2,000-word blog posts in 2 different voice imprints. Right. Yeah, Patricia. Well, actually, customized instructions. No, that's exactly what you are doing. You're giving it specific instructions to do. But when I'm talking about the project files, I've given it the information it needs only there. It's tasked with that. The clone, my clone is a completely different thing. I'm teaching it to think like me, to understand everything about me, so that I can have a good conversation with it, but not a conversation where it's just using information that it's made up. Like if I made something, like if I had memories turned on, I made something up, then it could take that and use that. So all the information I've already given it, I've set in stone, because that's the truth. Okay, and so it will speak back to me in a truthful tone as well. You know, you say anything in chat. You ask it for, you know, what's the best toaster for toasting? What's the quietest kettle for boiling water? You know, all that information goes in there. You don't want that to dilute or to come across into like a business strategy, do you? But it could. It's possible. So I just keep everything in projects because it's easier. And I'll be talking about this because you know, you might turn around and say, well, I thought that's why you'd use something like the GPTs in ChatGPT, but no, because they're different, right? So GPTs are here, by the way, right? So you can add them in here, but we'll talk about those later. We're not getting into those much. Right, so that's the main thing. Captures your voice, and you now can try all of that. Super simple, right? So super simple to do. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to move on to the next part of this. So I'm just going to jump to me while I do the screen share, and we can go to the next stage of this. So this is super exciting as well. So this is where we get fun with this stuff. I'm going to show you an example of what I've done as well. So let's jump across here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create some images to go with your story. So we're going to let's use AI to pull out amazing prompts we can use for image generation. Guided by us, we will create 3 images from the story. So let's have a big drum roll for Gemini's Nano Banana. The strangest of names. We're going to be using Gemini's Nano Banana to do this, and this is super cool. John's already mentioned about Nano Banana, and it is pretty cool. So before I jump into it, I'm going to just grab the UI for Gemini. Okay, good. And I just want to get the story up. Stopgap fittings. Let me just grab that. Right. Okay. So let's go. So I'm going to copy this story here. So let's have a look at our sheet again. So we're now moving down to the next part. So we've done this. We're going to look, that's the style, vision, right style. There we go. This is the one that I want. So I'm just going to blow this up so you guys can see it a bit clearer. Oh. Let's go. Right. So this is going to be our generator to create a prompt. So when we create content, we always want to be using the content if we're creating things from that content. We shouldn't be starting from scratch. So we've created a really nice story that AI created from you guys, and we want to make sure that we carry on. So if I've got that copy and I want to use that across my socials, I'm always going to use that copy in there, and I'm going to say to it, right, you've got the information, now I want you to create me 3 good socials for that, or a description that I can put on my blog page or something, or create a call to action block so that I can put that on and send people to that blog post. But you always want to be using the content. You don't want it to be just going into a new chat and then typing it. Like I've done this great story about a dragon that's really a sea lion. Thanks, Dale. And here you go. Here's the button for this. AI, can you make this sound better? No, you don't want to do that. You want to use the actual copy, the content that you have, and you want to use that as a base. This is the content. I want to create a call to action that's going to drive people to this, because this will be a blog post. Can you create me a good call to action block? And that's then got all of the information. So you need to be using everything in combination with each other. And that's what we do here. So we say images for stories. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 things. AI knows how to write prompts best. So why create a prompt when AI knows what it wants? Right, that's one thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say, from this story, pull out and create 3 prompts. These should be key moments, and we'll let AI decide. You could decide yourself by putting the clips in there if you wanted to. So should be key moments that I can use to create images to put into this story. They need to be 1920 pixels width by 1080 high. Notes. So this is where you can do what you like. So I've said to it, the style that I want is cartoon, like The Simpsons. Right, that's what I've asked it for. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that. So I'm going to take this copy, right? I'm going to open up Gemini now. I'm in Gemini. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to paste this prompt in here, and I'm going to go here, and here is the story. Okay. Now I'm going to copy that story across. Copy into here. Are you with me with this? Yeah? So I've just put that prompt that we just copied, and I've just put underneath, I just put here's the story, and we're just going to paste it in there, right? So I've pasted that whole story in there at the bottom of the prompt line. Okay, so that was our prompt at the top. From this story, pull out create 3 prompts. These should be key moments that I can use to create an image. Right, so we're getting it to do this stuff. So now I'm going to hit here, and notice that I've got thinking turned on. It spends a bit more time if you've got thinking turned on. If you put it fast, it will give you things, but it might not be as detailed. So I like to leave thinking on. It takes a little bit longer, but I like to turn it on. So it should now create as 3 prompts. Fingers crossed, because I've never done this on here. Right, I did this earlier with my own stuff, but not this. So it's now analysing visual elements, and it's formulating detailed prompts. And here it goes. Haha. So it's going to give us key moments from here, and it's given me a prompt. The vanishing reflection. So the moment, the incident, the inciting instant where Angela looks in the mirror and realizes that she has no reflection. And this is the prompt here. That's prompt 1. So prompt here gives you the description of it, and this is prompt 2 here. Right? And the last one is here, so the clumsy tumble down the well. So I'll start us off, but remember we told it to do it in a Simpsons style, and you're going to notice that it's formulated the same. This part is basically the same in each one. It sets that the task, that's the task image in the style of the Simpson cartoon. The context, and this is going to make sense later, the context is what we're describing, right? This is the key to it. Right, so you're going to see this later when we look at the prompt builder. What I said to you, the first thing here is the task, then the context, what you want. Right, so it's got 2 of the building blocks that I'll show you. So let's go and take this first prompt, copy it. Okay, we got that. And we're going to go and we're going to create a new chat. Right, so we're going to choose create image down here. It's going to be using Nano Banana. We're going to click create image. That'll be a little image in there of a little banana. Right, now we're going to just paste that prompt in there. This is the first prompt, prompt 1. Now we're going to hit the enter, and let's see what we get. So this should be a messy bedroom with a woman standing in front of a large oval mirror on the wall. The woman has the signature Simpson yellow skin, messy morning hair, and is wearing pajamas, looking shocked and confused. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Not bad, is it? Right? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are thinking, what? We've even got the red siren. Well, it's gone a little bit crazy. Look, it's put a red siren in there. But it's descriptive of it, yeah? And it's saying 6:03 in the morning. Look at that. So let's take prompt number 2. So I'm going to open Gemini up again just so that I can jump across to the prompt. I should have done this before. So let me go into the chats here. There we go. So let me take the second one now. So I'm going to create all 3 really quickly. I'm going to come in here, put that one in there, hit enter, and we're going to get a series. And because it's created this first one, what I love about Nano Banana is when you create the first image, it actually will match the character. And that's something that's quite hard to be done in AI. There's lots of programs that do it, but for character matching, it's quite hard to get it to match the same characters going through. See, this one hasn't. It's given her brown hair, right? So you might need to change it. You might need to change this prompt and say yellow hair. That's something that's more specific. So it should be specific. Funny, I mentioned that it should be the same, but it's not. So I've said yellow hair. Let's see what happens. And it should give us exactly the same image, fingers crossed, of her with yellow hair. So super quick anyway. And because I've mentioned it in there, the last one, it should pick it up. So there you go. She's got yellow hair now, right? You could say, but pretty much the same, right? So now we're going to move on to the last one. So we're going to move in here and push this one through. And here we go. So this is the last one of the shot. Of course, you can create more. You could pull bits out. If you wanted a particular scene in there, like a dragon instead of the sea lion, you could swap that out and put a prompt in there saying, make sure it's a dragon, you know. and have that come through. So this is what it's going to do. It's going to produce that in a second. And there you go. Well, now it's got a horse flying down there, shaped like a horse. So that's why that prompt was wrong. So the creature bumps into a woman. The creature vaguely looks like a. That's where it threw it. With Deborah's thing saying, what sort of creature is it? Knocking her backwards. Vaguely like a tall, goofy looking creature shaped like. If I get rid of that. So you might need to change it a little bit. Funny enough, the first one I did, it was actually perfect. It did all of them. And I think the reason is that we created this together, right? So there was really things went out of tangent. It's like, I think Dale kind of screwed it up a little bit by saying it's not actually a dragon, it's a sea lion. And then Deborah said whatever creature it is. So it kind of looks at these things and doesn't know. So remember, it's sort of that specific. So it's kind of created the same thing. So I'd probably start a game with a brand new prompt to get it to do that, or get it to regenerate that last prompt, because at the moment it's bringing that horse in there. But you can see the effects, pretty cool, isn't it? We can now use that. You can download that, download the file there, it'll download, and you can put that straight into a blog, right? So that's that part done. So I want to now quickly show you something that I've done before, because I just want to show you how cool it is. It's so cool. Let me look for the bleary-eyed one, man. Right, okay. This is just next level stuff. And I did have something go wrong, so I actually redid the script. So I'm going to find the... Where is it? Okay. So I did a post, and it was about a guy getting up and kind of was going to start work on a marketing funnel, but then he just felt overwhelmed, and he'd just woken up. So he went for a walk in the forest, and in the forest he kind of had a pigeon land on his shoulder, and the pigeon sort of gave him some inspiration, and he came back refreshed after the walk and managed to complete the challenge. So that was basically the story, right? So I don't need to show you, it's the same way before. So I did this, right? So I did the prompt thing with the image. So give me this stuff. So it wrote this, and then I was like, yeah, it's really realistic. So I didn't put in there, make it Simpson style, right? I just said, can you just make an image? So it just created a human type image. So it had wild dream, because he had a dream in the night. He's having his coffee. I'm not a working person. It's got a cat on here. Completely generated. And then I was like, I want it to be cartoon, right? And that's why I did it for the last one. So I said, in a stylized and Simpson look and feel, please do it in that. Now, this is what I thought was amazing. Look at this. This is what it created. Let's look at the two images. It's got the kettle there. It's got the kettle here. He's got the same cup. He's got the cat, the same style of cat, the same wording on here. He's got the sun coming up with the 5 pots on here, and he's got 5 pots on here. It's literally taken exactly that and created it as cartoon Simpson. I mean, that is just crazy, right? So then I moved on and created, I thought that was great. I created the second prompt, again, exactly what we saw. And there we go. We got this pigeon. We got the Mystic Woods, and we got To Eternal Confusion. So it's done this in a kind of Simpson style. Move on to the last one. So I put a triumphant moment in nature. The man stands in the forest holding a phone. So this is, sorry, I did 4 for this. So this one, he's actually got enlightenment. His phone's clicked up. We could put a tag over there saying Zenler sent a new feature release or something, right? We could say something like that. It's like, that solves all my problems. Fantastic. So let's move on to the last one, because the last one is where things went a little bit wrong. So, so I said, and I didn't prompt this, I just wrote it. And this is why it's really important to be specific with your prompts. And I wanted to cause an error, which I did. So I said, now standing in the kitchen with a laptop on the table doing a victory dance, right? That's not much detail. And I didn't ask AI to prompt for that. This one I did myself. I just wrote it in there, hoping that something would go wrong. And it did. It didn't go hugely wrong, but it went wrong. And I'll show you where it went wrong. And this is something that's quite common. It doesn't happen that much now. It used to happen more. So this is what it created. On first look, it might look okay until you look and see that he's got 3 legs. And he's got the pigeon on his shoulder still. Like, what's the pigeon still doing there, right? So if I went down, I said, look, again, please, right? I was trying to get it to get rid of this leg. And it wasn't getting rid of it. And I put no pigeon on the shoulder and 2 legs, not 3. You know, I'm telling it. And it's gone, okay, I'll get rid of the pigeon, but I'm not happy about not giving him 3 legs. So by this stage, I was right. Recreate a brand new image, right? So, and it creates the same image. It gives me exactly the same image. It's almost like winding me up, right? So this tells you something, right? And I did this on purpose. I knew it would do this. I knew it wouldn't give me what I wanted. And the reason it won't give me what I wanted is because I'm not giving it the context. I'm not being specific. So this is why it's just regurgitating the same thing and not really understanding what you mean, right? So AI is clever, but it's not that clever with some things that you would consider basic, right? It'll definitely get there for sure. And this sort of thing happens less and less and less. But this is what I did next. I said, create man with a big smile standing in the kitchen with a winner's trophy, right? Pretty specific, it's short, and it created exactly what I wanted, right there. Right, so let's take this a little stage further. Inside the same thread, I then thought, this is like a cartoon, isn't it? This is like a comic book. So why don't we try something? So again, very short prompt, combine all images into one as a comic book style. So this is what it gave me. Now it's taken all the images, the guy as well, which I think looks kind of cool. It's also given me the 3-legged jumping man, because it's taken all the images, but it's created this lovely little comic book effect. You know, if I was paying someone to do this, this would be like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, right? To get someone to create this stuff, you know, and you can do this in like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, right? So hugely cool. Use the prompt thing as well. If you're creating images and you've got text, ask it to create that prompt for you. That will save you a lot of trouble going forwards with this stuff. So it's super, super cool. I want to show you one last thing that I've got, if I can find it. All right, I'm not going to say that I can definitely find it, because I don't know if I can get this to... Right, okay. So this was done in, this will make you laugh, right? This was done in Gemini. So I'm really pushing Gemini. I use a lot of other tools for video creation, for AI video creation, but Gemini's got this new video feature in there. So I'm really like busting it, trying to break it. And this is what it created. It's made me look a bit younger, which is, thank you AI, right? Okay, I need that. It's giving me more of a beard, but it's still super cool. So this is what I created, right? So from this, yeah, I said, and if you look under the tools here, you can go to create video using VO 3.1. And so you select that as your source. If you want to create a video, you're going to select video, then you're going to type it in. If you want to create an image, you're going to go to create image, then you're going to type your prompt in, right? So this is what it created. Let's play this. Pretty cool, eh? So that's the sort of stuff that you can do, right? Really easy with AI. So hopefully this has been a real eye-opener for you. Before we end, I just want to go back into the Canva template and I just want to explain a couple of things. So we've done the image side of things now. We've done the story. So the last thing I want to do and show you is prompt building blocks. So this is really important. Hope you understand it. You can take a screen grab of this. I might include it and put it into a post. I'm going to give you guys access to come in a few minutes where I'm going to give you a URL for the prompt. So I might actually upload this slide deck so you guys can grab it as well just before you come in. So here we go. So this is prompt building, the structure of good prompting, right? So this is where it all starts. Most important ones at the top. So the task, the instructions. So write a message, you know, give me an HTML block, create an image, all tasks or instructions. The context of that is what you want to happen. So, you're telling someone, I am going shopping at 5 p.m. They know you're going shopping, you know you're going at 5 p.m. So the style, humorous, polite, professional, corporate, you know, that's the style. So role, act as my personal assistant. So however you want AI to act towards you is what you're doing. And you don't have to use all of these when you build a prompt. You saw the last one that we built for the image was purely using the task and the context. That was all, right? So you can pick and choose from these, but two that you include in everything are the task, what you want it to do, and the context. So in what context you want it to do that job, right? What have you supplied it? So usually comes in there with a goal. So make them understand dinner will be later. So in case you're going shopping at 5 p.m, the goal of this is to make them understand that dinner will be later, right? So it's the goal of what you're doing. So type of message. So what is it? Is it a type of text? Is it a WhatsApp message? Is it something like an email? Are you again creating something in particular? So it's a type of text that you're going to use it for. So another one is target audience. So who is your target audience? We talk, you know, if we're talking about our businesses, we're talking about our personas or our avatars, right? So, but it might be for your family, it might be for your friends, it might be for in an informal kind of setting, right? So target audience could change based on that. Multipliers. So multipliers are used quite a lot. Give me five different versions of this so I can pick the best one. Pick the best one. I really like this one. Can you now give me another 5 versions based on this one? And that way you can use multipliers to target down, right? The template. So in my case, like I showed you earlier, I've set up voice imprints or DNAs that I can use and put into a project. And these are my templates. These are my voice or my DNA. So these are things that I use to keep everything on track and focused, right? And then, of course, the example, the result of a good prompt. Okay, so it's a good prompt if you're using some of those. So you haven't got to use all of them, but this is good information for you. If you're thinking, what have I done here? I've prompted it. Have I given it the task I want it to do? Have I provided the context? Have I told it what my underlying goal is? Have I told it the style or the the warmth that I want to get across in this? You know, is it in that kind of professional, is it professional email? Who is that target audience? Is it a member of your family, someone closer to you, or is it a complete stranger, right? Because that will make a difference to how the prompt performs. So prompt building, the structure of good prompt. I said I'd be quick with this. It's pretty simple if you look at it, and you're probably doing a lot of it already, but definitely bear it in mind, especially if you're producing copy or images or videos and you're not getting the results you want to make sure that you're checking the structure of your prompts, right? Because that's the only thing that AI's got to go on. All right, so prompt building. So the last thing it's going to take me to now is going to be agents versus GPTs versus chat. I'm going to keep it really simple, right? Chat GPT is your conversational assistant, right? So it's there for you. It covers a lot of things. If you've got memories, turn on it, or remember things about you, talk to you about things. That's good. Don't get too connected or think that your AI assistant is kind of like your best friend or anything, right? That's people. Don't get too wrapped up. I'm sure over the years, especially with younger people, it's going to get harder, and they're going to be turning to AI as a friend. You know, I think that might happen. It's a bit worrying, really. So let's have a look at custom GPTs. So custom GPTs are tailored AI with rules or tools. They're basically there to perform a task, right? So that's all they are. So GPT is conversational. We can talk about a lot of different things. GPT's going to get the job done. They're focused on that one thing for you to do. And then we got the last one, which is agents. Now, agentic AI or agents AI is something that is growing massively, right? And it's the way AI will be working. It's already starting to now. It's still the early stages in a way, but it's basically agents, AI agents will just handle things. So these are the ones that will go and take over people's jobs, right? The agents will be doing this. They will be able to communicate between each other. They'll be able to make decisions, and on those decisions send it to another agent to do something else, right? So they work in, think of it like automations, but automations inside automations inside automations, right? Studying data and making a decision. So an example of this might be you have an agent looking through your emails. When an email comes in, it makes a decision whether that person is happy or whether they want to leave. Based on that, it might send it to another agent to handle the cancellation process or the email follow-up to ask them if they can help them in any way. Whereas the good one might send off somewhere to another agent saying, contact the person and ask them if they're really happy, what they liked about it, and if they're willing to give us a Trustpilot review. So this is how it could work together, right? And they'll make decisions based on that, and the person will email back to them, and they'll look at the email and they'll send them another email without you having to get in touch with them at all. It's a whole system that will be automated. So pretty amazing, really. And this is the way forward. And just to let you know, Zenler are on this already, right? They're already looking at agentic AI already. So that could be something coming your way. And this stuff is moving along so fast as well. But if you're staying in and you're just using your ChatGPT and you're getting to understand the way this stuff's working and you're making it work for you, you should be saving hours and hours a week now by using AI before it came out. Okay. So hopefully that's of use to you all, right? So I can see Patricia, I'm going to answer the stuff in the chat as well at the end, right? So David, do you have to pay for the free version of Gemini? No, I don't think you do. I think you can just go in there and use it if you've got a Google account, yeah? It's Google Gemini, yeah? I have cloud storage, so it gives me the pro version. I think I only pay for that, and it just gives you that. I'm sure later on they will, because at the moment, like, Gemini is like producing videos, it's producing images. I've got access to their AI model, and they're not charging me a penny, right? ChatGPT, you saw I was using there, that's a paid version. But Gemini, not just for having a cloud account, which I'd have anyway. They've just given me access to all that stuff. I'm sure it will change. I think that's happening with Gemini is they're testing a lot of stuff out. So they're almost using us like beta users, right? I think that's how it's kind of working. So now one last thing, right? Do it. Get in there, do this stuff, and I want to see results. I put it in the thread, right? When we finish today, can you put your results that you're getting, can you put links to it? If you put it into your blog page, or if you create a site page or something, please put it in there. You can put it in this thread. We don't like self promotion, but in this workshop thread, you can put them in there. Even if you do screen grabs of it, send screen grabs of all the little images that you create using Gemini. And by the way, you can create images inside of ChatGPT as well. So try that, because that's interesting. Or you might have another AI model that you're using to create images, but use the prompting thing and just give me some feedback if it's helped you, if your images are better and more accurate now using the prompting method, right? So let me know how that's going. So, right, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the stream onto